Windows XP. An operating system I'll never forget about pretty much. In fact, this operating system was my first ever time I believe I've ever used computers growing up. I used to remember this operating system very well as a kid, back in the year 2012 I believe, around September to December of 2012. During those years was the time I was in my second classroom as a kid, and during that time was the first ever time I've ever used a CD-ROM game. Digital plarail, a game that was for children, was one of my first ever times I ever got into PC games. I will never forget about the time that I used to play this being young. Like, being younger, a lot of children all over the world, probably in Japan and so many East Asian countries, definitely remember plarail trains. Or in other countries, tomica world, which was very short-lived pretty much, but in Japan and many other countries it was continuing to bring around. But even though that, plarail trains were really much something that I'll never forget about. But for a lot of children, you probably watched it on YouTube possibly being younger. For me, I was a kid who enjoyed these things, and it was never going to be forgotten about in my life. I will never forget about the time that I used to play on these trains back then. Like, these were definitely no ordinary trains at all, but these were something that was so popular, even across Japan. Like, it was not even like dead at all. It was continuing being around even to this day. So pretty much, I want to try and play this game again after all these years, and very recently I've been trying to play it clearly. This game is a pain to try and get working clearly. So I'll try and use VirtualBox and see what happens pretty much. So let's see if this works. Let me click on this. And then we'll click on that. It's installing, I believe. Yes! And let's see if this is gonna work. Oh, it doesn't work. Oh well. Well, of course, at least I could try and go and access the video that's in the game pretty much. Which, by the way, in the game, you would have like a little small video that would play. Unless, if you think about it, on the usual game, you'll click on the menu, I believe, and that would allow you to access the video. Well, what I'm going to do here is I'm going to go on Windows XP, access Windows Media Player, and let's see if I can try and play a video that was in the game pretty much, from the disc, and not from the actual game. Have fun playing with Tomica and plarail. I believe that's what it says, I think.
はじめまして、僕はトミカの町のカー吉です。
僕はプラレールの町のヒカリアン。よろしく。
僕たち大の仲良しなんだ。トミカとプラレールでワクワクドキンドキン。
そう、楽しさいっぱい、乗り物の国。
僕らと一緒にみんなで遊びに行こう。楽しい乗り物の国。いや
ー、なんか面白そうな町だな。トミカの町は。
いろんなトミカが走ってるのです。ここはトミカの駐車場。
あ、目が回りそうだね。
回る回る。
So yeah, pretty much all I can do with this game on Windows XP is basically the video of the game that would play, and that's just about it. I cannot get the actual game to work on XP for some reason. Maybe, I don't know how this would work on XP, but I'm using a virtual machine pretty much. But whatever's going on, maybe virtual machine might be the reason, but I tried to use Windows 98, but I can only use an English copy of 98 on a virtual machine, not the Japanese version for some reason. It just only works in English pretty much. But I tried to get the Japanese version working. It just doesn't work. I'm using Windows 98 SE, which means Windows 98 Second Edition. Unfortunately, this is probably the best I can get with this game to run. Of course, I don't have any English. There's only the Windows how to speak pretty much. So yeah, if you try to play this game on an English copy of Windows 98 or 95, my guess it's gonna have issues. But for some reason, it does work. But maybe I need to learn how to try and get 98 running on a virtual machine, like a Japanese copy of it. But I tried to use 2000, it never worked. So maybe whatever's going on with the hardware I have, I might need to one day think about how to get an old computer game. Like maybe I need to buy an old PC to do this. Maybe I need to buy an old PC hardware to run this, not a virtual machine. But whatever's going on, virtual machine somehow doesn't work well with this game for some reason. Maybe for whatever's going on, maybe I need like whatever it is. So yeah, 98 is the only way I can get this working, and it's only in English. So any writing that anybody in Japan who sees something suspicious with the game, I'm sorry, I cannot get this to work properly. So all I'm gonna have is some gibberish writing, and that's it, that no one else could understand, other than probably nobody clearly, because the game can't work properly on an English copy of Windows 98 unless if it's Japanese. So of course, whatever's going on with my XP install, whatever's going on here, I don't know how I get this running properly. And if anybody wants to try and help me to try and get this working, I'd like to know, how does this even work properly? Like, how can you get this game to run properly on XP? Because I tried everything, like about anything. So if anyone who knows how to set this up on XP, I'd love to know. So all I can get working is just a copy of 98 that's in English. So anyways, I'll show off the game this way instead. So let me show off the game pretty much. Oh, there are some issues by the way. So if you see some writing there that's all in gibberish, this is because I'm using an English copy of 98, not a Japanese copy of it. So this is what happens when you play a game that's Japanese on an English copy of 98. Oh, that nostalgic sound. Oh, this is bringing me back memories. And that writing. Oh, I feel like a kid, like I was growing up in Japan, but as a British student in a primary school. So here's the game pretty much, in its awful state pretty much, with the part that I'm using an English copy of 98, not a Japanese copy of it. Unless if I'm using a Japanese copy of XP, but it will not work still. This is basically where you would load, I believe, the layout that you have in the game pretty much. So I'm not gonna lie, this game really does bring back memories pretty much to a simpler time with friends pretty much. Growing up as a kid, I was one kid who loved plarail trains pretty much, which all began because my primary school, they got me into, first of all, one thing is, I was a kid who was into trains, so they thought of one day thinking of trying to bring some kind of language or something to learn for me. So in general, it kind of worked very well. And in the end of the day, it was really good for pretty much a lot of things on myself. And to this day, looking back at this game takes me back to the time of how a big deal it was at a young age, because again, it was such a cool thing that you need to get into. So this game was pretty much that, like a thing for children like me to get into, pretty much get fascinated with trains. A game like this was wonderful, clearly. So this is where you would add a train and rename a train pretty much in the game. Let's drag the thing that you had to drag, which is the train pretty much, the arrow, drag that onto the track. And let's save our layout pretty much in the game. Oh, this is bringing me back memories. I used to play this. Even though everything is in gibberish, I can still remember how the game worked. Oh, and I believe you press this button to start the track, I believe. Yeah, let's. Oh yes, the train's going. Oh yep, it's going. Oh, I knew it. Oh, the memories, the sounds, oh, the clicking noises. Oh my god, this is taking me back. Oh, so many memories on Windows XP. So pretty much, this game, what I remembered, was my second PC game. What I can tell, my first ever game was in my first ever primary school, which was called the Children's Traffic Club, which I may need to archive. And this game was my second. And of course, before this game, my school had arcade gaming, the Wii, and then this PC came by, and it was on a Windows XP. I believe it was Toshiba PC, some kind of desktop growing up I had. I'm not sure what model it is, but it was some Toshiba growing up. It was a Japanese computer, I believe. Then we had so many other computers and games that I so want to show on this channel that were for PC. We only had like, I think, three Famicom games. We had so many Sega Saturn games. I want to share all of this on my channel possibly for some nostalgia that we can totally get through these games, specifically for Japanese people. If anyone is watching this channel, I cannot lie, I have a lot of nostalgia with your country clearly. Even when I look at a lot of video games I used to play, I want to look back at the time I was so simple before high school, which was so hectic pretty much. I dealt too much as a kid by other students, all because of a lot about me, like the part I did Japanese, but way much than that. It was because of the COVID-19 pandemic pretty much and anti-racism, where this is the reason why I had no friends in the first place, which explained a lot about myself. So anyways, thank you for watching, comment, subscribe, and I'll see you guys in the next video. Bye.